Maximus analysis here for September 15, right before the close. And you can see they did a nasty reversal today about midday. You can look at the intraday and you can kind of see that after 115, they pretty much dumped it. So it looked like it was going to be a good. And yesterday's title of the video was "Dead Cat Bounced a Rally," and you didn't get either. You got you got some weekly calls that got crushed. Looking at the break of this morning with no follow through, but that Dow was kind of key for me because again it's still up 100 if we look at it again. I usually do them in order, but just want to kind of show you guys some stuff. It's up 100, but it really isn't without the Nike, because Nike had earnings and it was up $10 and they floated Nike up for the whole day. Nike would probably add for about, let's say, 100 to 125 points by itself with this much movement. So with that being said, it's really a red day without Nike as that 30th component. If you took 29, you'll see that a lot of them are in the red and are very, very weak. Even the ones that are quote unquote up for the day, they just popped them up and kept them up. But they did a lot of work. They had to do a lot of work to keep it afloat. So they used like Procter & Gamble. They jumped that one up. But you can see stuff that Goldman Sachs, that stuff is still hurt, even though it's quote unquote up. It's still, it's up about $3, but it's not in an uptrend. So they kind of use those numbers to kind of manipulate things. Now the NQ faded pretty badly at the same 50% range. Demarker and continue down, but again I'm in the bear camp, but I thought that they would at least run it up to 200, but I was wrong. They didn't even go up that much. Again, they have the same type of, and I don't know what the news is, nor do I really care. I'm just kind of looking at what the overall markets are, and this is definitely a weakish pattern going into the close. You had IWM, and again, a lot of momentum names gave you a little sign today as I was tweeting out. And you can see that just continued from this. They didn't even give a little pop-up, which I wanted to short into. They didn't even give you that. But a lot of names didn't look good at all. So Priceline, from the beginning of the day, they all gapped up. And this is something you could kind of look at. And I'm not a big opening range guy, but you can see that, okay, they didn't even get back above here. So I didn't have anything much to buy. I mean, maybe you bought here and got stopped out here. And then after that, you just kind of sit on your hands and say, listen, let me see what's going to happen for the rest of the day. Now, Priceline is closing near its closes. That's a very bearish candle, to say the least. You have Facebook. Facebook, again, same thing. If you look at the intraday chart, you can see that it never got back above, where it opened. So it pretty much gapped open and closing. That's called dark cloud cover. You guys could look that up regarding Japanese candlesticks. So that one also showed weakness, is why it wasn't looking to take any longs. Netflix, kind of almost the same thing. Pretty much just stay below. Now, people will play these opening ranges. I don't really do much of it because I think you got to look at what the price action is, and I'd rather buy off of a dip than a breakout per se. So some people will put the, above here, below here. And I think that stuff is published so much that it's just an easy thing to flash it and then go down. But anyway, you can see that they didn't show any continued strength from yesterday's really pop up of $5. You also had Amazon. Amazon, again, same type of deal. So I was tweeting this out, and again, I could be wrong. I'm just tweeting out my thoughts. Maybe somebody looks at it and says, you know what, that provoked folks some thoughts. I'm not the guru, nor would I claim to be. But you gap up here. You expect with some type of strength layering above this daily support that we spoke out of yesterday, that you would just get some follow through to the upside. It did none of that. So again, these are starting to look like more like dark cloud cover, which is a bearish type of movement, especially at overbought conditions. It did that. So follow through on Monday or Tuesday is going to be critical. You had crude, and that one is still setting up to look like a short. And I'll show you guys now, because it's basically we're just waiting. We're just waiting to see what this is going to do, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little waves, right, with a lower top from here. So from here to here, lower top, break of that low, break of 44.12, and you could just continue to see it. So you see that they have to resolve this one way or the other. I'm saying that if they break this low, which is 44.86, and they break this low, continue, because again, this is crude, so it could come flash it, make a hammer formation right here, and then skyrocket back up. But I'm looking more for a close, and I'm willing to again leverage it using either the futures on this or the futures on the USO. So again, there's a lot of other names. You got Microsoft that also is looking weak, and it's looking more weak on, if you start looking at the weekly time frames, you can see this just looks like they're sideways, nice little lower high. Volume is decreasing. This is only like $1.46 range on the weekly, so we want to see how this breaks out, and your stop would be above here, because it could come down and definitely take out this 40 level with some type of conviction. So again, we shall see. I think you have Fit as well, that also didn't look that good. You can see that as well. It was overbought territory. It's pretty much right in the middle of the range for the, so it's right below the 50, which isn't that such a coincidence? So they ramped it up, came back to original sell signal right here, and now they're going back again. So I'm looking at this for potentially a short as well, and my target would probably be around this 27 area, so about $10. So we'll see how this one plays out and what's going on. I got to do more work up on this weekend, but hopefully you didn't get caught. I actually, on my SPY puts, I did take them off in the morning, because usually I used to go 3 to 4, no, excuse me, about 2 to 3 stop highs back, and they came up, and I didn't know if this was going to continue, but I got in short from this little rally up here, so I was fine with taking some profits off, and then I just flattened the position because I didn't know where they were kind of going to go. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, nor I will ever claim to have one, but if they can pump this up a little bit more, it would actually be more ideal for another shortcoming. So again, longs are not really that recommended unless you are moving at a quicker pace, meaning that you're using the 30, 15, 60, 240, those type of moves, so that you again can get in and out, because you're going to be playing the retracement. And if you can do that, fine, but understand what you're trading. Majority of the reason why I put a lot of trend stuff is not that you can't trade the retracements, but I know that for most traders, especially, I don't know what level you are, novice, advanced, whatever, understanding the trend and saying, okay, where is the demarcation of them turning to bullish, I would say that it's a lot easier for the majority. So that's why I don't post many of those type of trades. Let's say like the Facebook trade that I took, and now this one is looking really good. It's saying the gap up. I took this trade from here to here overnight. That's not a trade I would post or even recommend, because again, it was just a short trade based on some other stuff that I use. But again, looking at this ES going into the close, you can see now that they're really fading it badly, and they're back under that. I had tweeted out as well. Follow me on Twitter. 1924.50 was kind of my demarcation mark, and they got below that. So they look like they could continue down for more downsides. Kind of really dirty what they did, but this is the markets, my friend. This is what we're trading. So take care, have a great weekend, and we'll see what happens on Monday.